This comes across as a hot take slash rant about one of my favorite movies of all time, The Last Dragon, which came out in 1985. Now, I was going to wait until 2025 to at least celebrate 40 years of The Last Dragon, but there's two things. One, it's fresh on my mind. And two, yeah, nobody really gives a shit what I put out anyways, but whatever, I'm still going to talk about it. So let's digress. Now, The Last Dragon is one of those films that should have had a sequel and several follow-ups. I mean, if we got projects like Top Gun, Ghostbusters, The Terminator, hell, even Karate Kid with the follow-up series Cobra Kai, if they could have follow-ups and continuations of their characters, how come The Last Dragon never had such? Now, if you put two and two together, it comes as no surprise studio interference, corporate greed, and Taimak getting screwed over. Now, speaking of Taimak, he should have been an action star on the same caliber as that of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone back in the day. But he was young and was told that he did not have that it factor. He got screwed over by Hollywood. But most importantly, he got left hanging by Berry Gordy. Yes, the same Berry Gordy in charge of Motown Records. And I mean, if you hear all the stories of how shady Berry Gordy is, you'll be like, man, that's crazy. I'll put it this way. Berry Gordy is to entertainment what Don King is to boxing. Shady, snaky, greedy, and the only color that these guys care about is green. That money, 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 money. And these guys are also further proof that when it comes to black entertainers and black talents, not all skin folks are kin folks. Now, according to a 2022 article that I read online from JoeBlow.com, Taimak himself said the screenwriter for The Last Dragon, Louis Vanosta, regained rights to the film. So there is a follow-up in the works. Now, a couple of the cast members have passed away, such as Vanity, Julius Carey III, just to name a few. You know what's the girl's name that she played in the movie? Hell, I forget, but I'll type it in the comments. But Julius Carey III as Shonuff, the Shogun of Harlem. Look, with a character like Shonuff, there's a lot of story about Shonuff that could have been told. How did Shonuff become the Shogun of Harlem? Who did he beat? And even if we didn't get a live action versions of these stories with these characters, they could have been animated. I mean, how hard is that? But this also what happens when you have studios such as Sony that keep holding on to excellent films like this. But look at all the modern day crap they keep putting out nowadays that fails at the box office. Madam Web, any of the films in the Sonyverse based off of characters from Spider-Man's universe, but that's neither here nor there. And another cool thing about The Last Dragon, that this film fused martial arts, comedy, blaxploitation, pop culture, and music together, man. Like, it's not many films that do that. I mean, listen to the soundtrack. If anybody hears You Got the Glow, The Rhythm of the Night, or You Are the Last Dragon, you possess the power of them all. I mean, part of my bad singing, but anybody hears that, they're going to stop what they're doing and break down and some breakdancing. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, the movie's protagonist, Bruce Leroy, he pays homage to his hero, Bruce Lee. I mean, come on now. And speaking of Shonuff, I mean, if anybody over the age of 40 hits you with this line, am I the meanest? Shonuff. Am I the prettiest? Shonuff. Am I the baddest mofo around this town? Shonuff. I can't hear you. Sure enough, Shogun of Harlem. Yeah. I mean, come on, man. You can't beat that. And you hear about somebody catching bullets with their teeth? Negro, please. But anyways, again, like I said earlier, if every one of these other properties from the 80s has follow-ups and sequels, there's no excuse as to why The Last Dragon is not in that same category. And also what I said earlier too, this movie is proof that Taimak is underrated and was well overqualified to be a top guy in action films till this day. And on top of that, he was trained by the legendary Von Van Cleef as well. So there's that. Just my thoughts, just my opinion, and as always, just saying.